Welcome to the new show that hits harder than a spinning back kick from Uriah Hall. This is Mirror MMA. So what now for heavyweight champ Cain Velasquez? The newly recrowned UFC heavyweight champion of the world was supposed to face Dutchman Alistair Overeem next, but those plans went by the wayside this past weekend in Las Vegas. Overeem was decisively knocked out by hulking Brazilian Antonio Bigfoot Silva, leaving the number one contender spot wide open. Former champion Junior Dos Santos wants a rematch, but he was so badly beaten in his last bout against Velasquez, many will wonder if that's the best move. The problem is, Silva fought Velasquez last year too, and he got taken apart. Time for a new challenger to step up perhaps. If I were Daniel Cormier, I'd be keeping my mobile phone very close to hand. Away from the fights themselves, the big talking point of the week has been the introduction of official rankings in the UFC. Fight statisticians Fight Metric are compiling the rankings with input from MMA journalists and writers from around the world. It's not an exact science, or there wouldn't be the need for a pool of contributors, so it'll always be a talking point amongst fans, fighters and journalists alike. And that's no bad thing, right? We've sat down and thrown together our top 10s for each weight division, plus our top 10 pound for pound list. You can check those out on the ticker running along the bottom of this screen. While the UFC were doing their thing over in Vegas, on this side of the pond history was being made in London as UC MMA hosted the first safe MMA supported event at the Troxy. UC MMA 32 was the first event to embrace the new safe MMA guidelines for promoters and fighters. It's a big step forward for MMA in this country as, with no regulatory body for MMA in the UK, the country's top promotions have joined forces for the good of the sport. In the main event in London, light heavyweight champion Linton Vassell defended his title with a TKO stoppage of the experienced Zelg Galasek. We're looking forward to seeing him in more big fights domestically as 2013 continues. Episode 3 of The Ultimate Fighter brought us one of the knockouts of this or any other year, as Uriah Hall's spinning head kick on Adam Seller rendered his opponent unconscious for a full 4 minutes. Thankfully, Seller recovered from that vicious KO and yesterday took to Twitter to say thanks to everyone for the support and keep watching, it gets better. Best season of Tough ever. With Brit Luke Barnett through to the second round and a knockout of the year contender already in the bank, it certainly started well. Here in the Mirror MMA office, we love Uriah's head kick KO, but reckon it's not quite as good as this one, landed by Edson Barbosa on Terry Etim last year.
You want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out? Oh my God! Wow! I couldn't have timed that word knockout any better.
The poster boy is back in action next weekend as the UFC hits London for UFC on Fuel TV 7. The London light heavyweight will fight in front of a hometown crowd at Wembley Arena against French kickboxer Cyril Diabate as the highest billed Brit on the card. His UFC debut in Nottingham last year had the crowd in raptures as he demolished Carl Kingsbury with a devastating salvo of strikes to pick up a TKO win, and he'll be keen to repeat the feat against Diabate next Saturday. The event takes place at Wembley Arena on February 16th and Mirror MMA will be there to catch all the action live. Okay, that's all we have time for this week. Why not join the conversation on Twitter and tweet us at Mirror MMA. Until then, enjoy the fights and I'll see you next week.